Hello and welcome. Our Team Five Toes would like to present our Marketing Management Final to you, Nike Incorporated.
So I'm Nick Brooks. I'll give you a quick history on Nike. So they're a multinational corporation based out of Beaverton, and they were founded in 1964 as Blue Ribbon Sports by Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight. Now they would eventually go on to spin off to Nike in 1972. And just quickly, Nike is actually Greek mythology. It's the winged goddess of victory. So they were kind of forward thinking with that. So Nike basically has life before and after Michael Jordan. They signed him in 1984 to an endorsement deal and basically haven't looked back. That endorsement deal was $500,000. And in the first year, it actually made $100 million for them. Now, in 2020, they had about $37.4 billion in sales. And in 2016, Matt Powell, a senior industry advisor at NPD Sports, who tracks retail sales, noted that Nike's sales are the equivalent of 25 pairs of shoes a second. And that is just wild. So they have a target market of 15 to 55-year-olds, and they like consumer athletes, people that are trying to run faster and jump higher. Basically, people that are trying to just do it.
Hi, so this is Vincent, and I'm going to discuss about the Nike's customers, and basically I will separate into four major parts, which is competition reputation, product quality, service, and price. First of all, Nike's competition and reputation. Nike has built its brand reputation over the years with many business strategies. However, Nike came across some scandals of sexual harassment in 2018, which led the company to slip its corporate social responsibilities, but against Adidas. Adidas has a better ethical culture as compared to Nike that also earns it a better reputation as being a sport apparel company. And the next slide will be the product quality. Nike has worked to maintain the quality of its product. The performance of the company is maintained with innovation and product design. Nike provides shoes and clothing that is comfortable to its customers, presenting the best quality material and design of products. The quality of the product keeps Nike in front of the competition with Adidas and Under Armour. Quality is achieved not only in product comfort, but also in terms of fashion trends that it's offered to the wearer. Next slide. Nike's service. In comparison to the Under Armour, Nike shows a more advanced store display. Additionally, Nike has more comprehensive sportswear offered to customers. Therefore, it is obvious that Nike has better service than other brands based on the style and the product quality. The customers believe that it is somehow innovative for Nike to focus on enhancing the overall customer experience. Next slide. Price is considered in the purchase decision of a product, thus it is an important factor. Price also represents the quality and design of a product as compared to its rival or substitute products. In March 2019, Nike's product ranged from $34.97 to $295, while for Adidas, the data shows that its shoe range from $15.99 to $200. This data shows that Nike is more expensive compared to Adidas, which is its second largest rival. The prices present the market leadership of Nike. It is an expensive brand to customers. However, it is not the same in men's apparel. Nike had the lowest of $8.97, while Adidas over $12 being high priced. The last slide, I'm going to talk about the evolving needs and satisfaction from customers. Over the years, customer has become more demanding of sport clothing and shoes. Customers require more comfortable product that meets their satisfaction. level but also offers a fashionable product. Distribution of channels has also evolved by companies like Nike to meet customer demand and offer more ease in the purchase. Apparel retailers have provided more stylish clothing which does not only include Nike, but other rivals as well. There is a trend of millennials as well who want a sustainable product. Nike is recognizing this need to produce sustainable product which also satisfies other demands of customers, like fashion and quality products. Customers are satisfied at Nike with a constant focus on meeting their needs. Customers are a reason for growth, thus the product development process at Nike considers the role of customers in decision making. Nike engage with customers to add value to its business. This interaction satisfies customers while the company receives valuable information. Nike uses technology in its business to engage customers. Customers are provided with application. It makes customers avail personalized recommendation and offers, thus satisfying their needs. This also meets the evolving trend of demanding customers. Okay, so this is part of Nike's customer. The next section will be the competitors of the Nike.
Who are Nike's competitors? The top competitors that Nike's currently facing is Adidas, Puma, Reebok, Fila, Converse, and Under Armour. Those are all sportswear companies as well as shoe companies, but Nike is currently surpassing them by a lot. And to give you a perspective, their total revenue is sitting at about $37.4 billion. And Adidas, which is their second competitor, is 23.6 billion. So it's almost double. It's crazy how big Nike is compared to everyone else. But like I said, the reason why Nike is so big is because they're not only focusing on footwear, but also on apparel, sports equipment, and they have a bunch of sponsorships and people that represent their brand, such as Drake, which is probably the number one pop star, Russell Wilson, which is a quarterback, and Tiger Woods, which is a very popular golfer, and many more athletes and influencers. Now let's talk about Nike's strengths and weaknesses. For strengths, their strong brand core and image would be the first strength. If you see their trademark sign, which is the Nike symbol, the little check mark, then you obviously know that it's a very popular brand and it's also very high quality. It took a very long time and they grew so much to the point where anybody can recognize their brand. And if you ever think about buying some sort of sportswear, you will automatically think of Nike because it's the biggest. Their next strength would be their diverse brand portfolio. Their brand tries to support everyone of all shapes, sizes, colors, and all that. And so an example of this is if you go on their website, you will see all kinds of people wearing their clothes and representing them because their message aims that anyone can wear their brand. And the last strength that they have would be low product cost. Even though they have expensive clothes, Nike does have low labor costs and their material costs. And because of that, they're able to make their products cost cheaper in general. Now, for the weaknesses, continuing on for the low labor costs, in foreign countries, this results in forced labor, child labor, low wages, and unsafe working conditions. Another weakness would be that Nike does have a large amount of debt. If you look at Nike's income statements and balance sheets, you'll notice that their long-term debt is $9.54 billion. So that is a lot of money. And lastly, the third weakness Nike faces is the dependency on the U.S. market. They rely on the U.S. because 40% of their sales comes from just the U.S., and the other 60% comes from globally. So even though Nike is very popular, they still depend on the US for substantial sales and growths because that's where they originally are from.
SWOT analysis for Nike. Here are the strengths we researched. Nike has diversified store networking tools that expand to customers' needs and enhances their overall marketing approach toward their target market. Nike has physical stores all over the country and globally, but it also offers a really strong online platform presence, including a mobile application that makes shopping just a few clicks away. Nike is proud to promote the use of sustainable products to craft their collection of shoes and equipment. Highlighting advocacy of environmental awareness, CEO has announced that they are going to continue using sustainable materials like recycled polyester and fly leather plastic. They also boast about their renewable wind energy. Another strength of Nike is their ongoing support for environmental issues like Black Lives Matter. This is a strength for the company because these serious environmental issues we suffer from today need strong support from corporate company giants such as Nike. Weaknesses we found for Nike include our current and very serious 2020 coronavirus pandemic. Nike has a very, very strong reliance on sporting events, and this has left them shuttering. This overdependence on selling sporting event apparel has affected Nike's books. Nike also suffers from ongoing lawsuits of being accused of discrimination and gender pay bias. Opportunities for Nike. Nike has produced many products and continues to improve the innovation of their products. Recently, Nike has extended its products to reach into technology-based fitness wearable equipment. Nike also has a vast mean of financial resources and has been in the process of acquiring startup companies to help their sales capabilities and to better predict customer shopping behavior. Threats for Nike include global exchange rates. They are subject to fluctuations in these exchange rates as well as political risks. Nike also has to worry about their competitors in the footwear market.
Here are some recommendations for Nike to improve. The SWOT analysis of Nike revealed that the sportswear giant lacks diversification, which resulted in declining sales. According to Cohen, 2020, Nike witnessed a 38% decline in sales following extended closure of nearly 90% of its global-owned stores. This resulted in a significant decline in Q2 sales. However, direct-to-customer remained afloat as e-commerce sales soared to a record 79%, accounting for an impressive 30% of the company's total revenue. So a stronger emphasis on digital commerce and direct-to-customer approach might be recommended. Even though Nike is heavily dependent on sporting apparel, with months-long closure of sporting activities due to the pandemic, sales and revenues could have been impacted dramatically. Therefore, Nike needs to focus more on its presence through a diversified business approach, including retail, wholesale, and direct-to-customer across its global stores. A strong leadership is also recommended to allow the giant to rebound strongly during and after the pandemic. More importantly, it is not a good business model to depend on one segment for survival, meaning there is a need to diversify both vertically and horizontally. This can be accomplished by venturing into apparel and other non-sport related accessories. Like most multinational companies, Nike has been plagued by lawsuits from racism to sexism accusations. In 2018, Nike faced a gender discrimination lawsuit from 4 women, and in 2020, Nike faced yet another class action lawsuit after a former employee of Croatian origin came forward with claims of racially motivated harassment by the company. To avoid expensive lawsuits and subsequent fines in the form of compensations, Nike needs to focus more on its anti-harassment policies and practices to ensure they do not attract criminal and civil liabilities that could adversely impact its profitability. On the other hand, employee hiring and dismissal practices should be done following due process to avoid potential legal pitfalls.